Sharon. Listen, we're trying this again. How are we all doing? Hey, everybody. Let's just hope we came on the correct link. We are going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. Hey, gotta get the lotion. Can't have those hands up there. Gotta get the nails down. Hey, everybody, come on in. It's nice to see you. Thank you for those of you on the replay. I absolutely appreciate you and thank you for being here because it means a lot that you guys show up and that you watch the videos, that you comment, and you watch the ads. So I'm thankful because you do that for me. I do that for you. And that's how your support, and that's how I'm able to support you and we support each other. So thank you once again for watching and definitely watching the ads and giving a thumbs up, all of those good things. I had a pretty good day. I was just, I had a lot of thumbs up with a lot of people watching and supporting because that's what we do. How about we talk about your purpose? How about we talk about that? Yay. Because let me tell you something. Right now, I think a lot of people are going to pivot back to their purpose. They're definitely going to have to do that. And there's a reason why. Because we've seen so many changes. Life has changed for a lot of people. And sometimes you may go back to, what is it that I'm called to do? What is it that I was or that I'm called to do? And do I have time? Is it too late? That's the question. Is it too late? And it will make you, go over those questions for a while. A little turmeric and ginger tea with a fresh piece of lemon. We're back with the teas. Yeah, I figure when I have the time, why not just jump on and have these types of conversations? So many of you know the RN to CEO is recognizing you need to nurture yourself. And for those of you who are entrepreneurs and definitely those in the membership, we do have conversations around life, and some folks have had in-depth conversation about business and what it is that they're looking to do. Hey, Regina Michelle, thank you for checking in. I know you may only have a few minutes. Thank you. Thank you. I so enjoyed your video. Regina Michelle, guys. Check her out. Regina Michelle. I'm always saying she has two first names. I listened to your last video and it's so in with the times of what's happening. And I'm saying because of so many changes, I am sure that a lot of people are thinking about their dreams that they put on the side so they could take care of the job. And there's nothing wrong with the job, right? There's nothing wrong with that because, baby, it pays the bills. And when we talk about our purpose, especially from the perspective of being an entrepreneur, I always tell people, just like when Auntie Tab came out a few weeks ago and she's talking about, baby, it's time to go get you a job. Listen, she stepped on the toes of a lot of entrepreneurs. Ellen Smile, hey, how are you? I was so relaxed watching your video today. We had everything on today. Ellen was like, I can't believe you're still here. Oh, yeah. Today was a little bit different. I was working out in around afternoon, 11, 12, 1, whatever time. So it was a little bit different today, and it was okay. But a lot of people, they're mad. And listen, she stepped on the toes of a lot of entrepreneurs. I was like, Auntie Tab, you talking about me? You talking about me? And she was like, listen, she said, she's not out here talking to the ones who are really trying, to the ones who've got something going on. It's just the ones who are like, every month is something. And as an entrepreneur, it does happen It does happen, but I got what she was saying. So people needed not to have been angry when she said, listen, baby, it's time you go get you a job. And entrepreneurship is not easy, guys. It's not. It's a lot of work. It's dealing with people. And I even tell people, even when you remember, sometimes you work with folks and they might have seemed to have been a bully or they're rude, they're obnoxious. Well, a lot of those people, they're out here, they have business and they bring that same type of personality. I've bumped into a few. And they're like that. So it's what's going to be on the job or whether it's going to be as an entrepreneur, you're going to bump into all types of people. And that's why your circle, it's really important. And so even with the layoffs, even with everything that's happening now, my question is this: are there some folks who are thinking about their purpose? Are there some folks who are thinking about that job or that business that they placed on the side, or that business they might have dissolved it because they thought that this was it? And also what I'm saying, because since the pandemic, there were a lot of people who were out here, and I've worked with a lot of them who are entrepreneurs. Guys, when you come in, thank you. Double tap the screen and feel free to give a thumbs up. I appreciate you. And so a lot of people were out here. They were starting businesses. And for me, being in the health and wellness, healthcare field, there were a lot of nurses who came out. They started their med spa, their IV hydration. Some of them started their coaching and their wellness business. It was just like a lot of people were out here. They were building, they were grinding, they were building. There's some who actually, nurses who did not leave nurses completely. I worked with a lot of them. They didn't do that. They're the ones who are still out there thriving because they built their business while they're working. And my thing is, my client is like building a business around your lifestyle. And so to still have that job, it's awesome, because your job, and I heard Lisa Nichols said this years ago, that your job is your first investor in your business. Let me say that again. Your job is your first investor in your business. Because when nobody else believed in you, you don't have to go out there and borrow a whole lot of funds. You don't need to do that. You can, whichever way, you can say, you know what, I'm opening this business bank account and I may have to just loan myself a little something until I can build in a certain way, and you don't have to take all your money and do. But that's what a lot of entrepreneurs did and do. That's what we did, how we started out. So being an entrepreneur, it will make you question yourself too. And most entrepreneurs, would you say a lot of entrepreneurs are not employable? Let me sip the tea and then the glasses. Watch what's going to happen with the glasses. Oh, it's not as hot anymore. So a lot of entrepreneurs will tell you, I can't work for nobody. I am not employable. They get on my nerves. Well, yes, a lot of entrepreneurs will tell you they are not employable. And one of the things I do, and even in my membership right now, and I'm not even selling the membership, guys, because like I said, some of y'all know I do stuff outside of here. But, I talk to people a little bit more, whether you're for-profit or not-for-profit, or for-profit or non-profit. I think once you get used to working for yourself, it's hard to work for somebody else. That is so true, Regina Michelle. I want to say that with a French accent. That is so true. But one of the things when you're working for yourself, the discipline, oh my gosh, the discipline comes in. You got an office. You got to get there. What time? You have office hours. What time are you going to get there? You have to have a schedule for the week, your administrative week, other things that you have to do. Who's going to do the interview. A lot of times, people who start businesses are operating on what they say, a bootstrap, a budget. Regina said, entrepreneurs know that their worth and their abilities. It's hard for them to sell themselves short. It is so true. And I'm going to tell you this. while, and anybody who's coming back and watching this for the replay, thank you for that. But what I want to say to entrepreneurs is this: any job that you're working at, any place or space that you are working, be grateful. I'm not saying, nothing, everything won't be perfect, but it's to operate in gratitude for what it is doing at this time, right? So when you are at the space or the place where you're working, there's some form of gratitude that we need to understand that, oh, I hate this place. I can't wait to get out of this place, so forth and so on. No, I'm thankful and I'm grateful that I have this job. I'm thankful and grateful I have this car. I can put some gas in it. It can take me safely over the highways and the byways. I can get to work. I could go do the people's work. Okay, we go do their work and I come back. All right. And then and one of the things why I'm saying, don't be a disgruntled, miserable, not showing up and doing whatever you want to employee, because that's the type of entrepreneur you're going to be. Because what goes around comes around, the law of reciprocity. So if you're going to be that entrepreneur who's disgruntled, you're late, you don't care, you don't want to show up, wait until you're the one. Wait until you are the one. Cashley, big up yourself. Thanks for checking in. Yes. So entrepreneurship, oh, Ashley, you always come on when I'm talking about that. Entrepreneurship, KC Inspirational Tales. It was great seeing you today with all the fruits and vegetables there, girl. I had to leave you for a little bit and go take a shower, so you were rolling until till the end. I had Ellen over here. I had you over here. Listen, your girl was working today. But yes, be grateful for that check. Be grateful. So, they said when you get that money, my grandmother would always do this. And many of us, you would see your grandparents do this. They would hold the money up. They would hold it up and they bless it. And I always had this thing at work. One of the places I worked, they did not have direct deposit. Well, direct deposit, I think, yeah. But you would get the check thing. And anybody who would hand me my check, there's this Filipino nurse that would work for us. She said, let me give Sharon her check. And they said, why you want? Let me give Sharon her check. So whenever she hands it to me, I would say, the Lord bless you. May he multiply. She said, I'm not the one. I said, may the Lord bless you. May your store basket never be empty. I would always bless her hands. So I don't care if it was just the check stuff. And she would like that because we go back and forth with it. I said, girl, come on over here. Let me bless you. Because, the money's already deposited. It's the check stub. But anybody that's dealing with money, one of my mentors would tell me, Casey Inspirational Tales, thank you for being here. Yes, one of my mentors would tell me too. She said, when you get money, do not crumple it up. I think she saw me where we were going and we were driving somewhere and I was like, okay, I'll buy the gas. So I took some money out and she looked at me, she looked over and she said, first of all, don't you ever crumple money like that. And she said, when you put money in your wallet, because we're going to get to our purpose. She said, put them all at the same, facing the same way. She said, and never say, I said, well, this little money when she said, when by the gas, I didn't have to do it. I said, girl, maybe God bless with this little money. She said, never say it's little money. Never say it's little money. So I thought I was doing something, blessing somebody's hand. And so it taught me that the money itself, yes, it's the paper, it's all of that, but it's the energy that's behind it. So I learned how to put all the dollar bills together, put them all together and nicely in your wallet. And that's something that I learned. Kelly says, so true. I'm forever grateful for everything and every experience. Mark Westfall, I'm back. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for coming back. And so this is the thing. So even as somebody that's working and then you're moving over to entrepreneurship, you're going to find out that you're the chief cook and bottle washer. And I remember one day I was in the office and I was trying to find a clip. Guys, I was trying to find a paper clip. I could not find a paper clip. And I went looking under the desk. I was like, we're not wasting anything in here. I'm going to find a paper clip. I found everything else. I found staples. And I was like, I can't even find a paper clip. And it dawned on me that I'm responsible for everything. There is this photo, I gotta find it and then post it. It's like somebody was carrying the water pail, and this person was walking with the water pail, and they say, you don't know what it's like until you're responsible for every drop of water in that pail. Yeah, she said, I try to pray over my salary before I spend monthly. And let me tell you something, guys, what really works. When you sit down and you go over it, for those of you who tithe, and you look at that money first, it's good money management. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, they're gonna take, the 8%, 10%, whatever goes in your 401k, and some people say to tithe from the gross, not the net, whichever way you choose to do that. And for me, when I would look at my tithing, and sometimes too, that's at one point, your girl had to get her own checking account because it was like, what's this money? I am tithing. I'm tithing. I'm a tither. Yes, I believe in that. Yeah. People was like, oh, just throw the money. Somebody said, just throw the money into the basket. God will know. I said, oh yeah, they'll know for my check, because at the end of the year, when it's time, I get a whole printout. Your girl get a printout. So you get a printout. So you throw the money in there. Yeah, you get a couple of dollars, but I'm gonna write that check, because what? At the end of it, see, people got to know how this thing works. It's Marvella. Hey, it's Marvella. Good to see you. God bless you. My member there in the membership, thank you so much. Surely appreciate you. We've got some new postings in there. And we also have the business lounge. And so for those of you, you're going to get a little sprinkle something. But I have the business lounge. It's on my, I posted that on my wall. And then I go in a little bit more to see what all these other nurses they've learned who have launched and have been doing stuff and have done that. So when people are looking at, we're talking about our purpose, our passion, we're talking about our purpose. And it's Marvella. That last video, you guys need to go listen to that. That was so good. It was, listen, you guys are doing some fantastic things here on what is this, YouTube, and I almost said Facebook. And I think a lot of people are walking in their purpose, and this is just an extension. So for those who are going into ownership, I always say to be grateful for the job. Don't go there being disgruntled. Don't think that you're going to quit this job and then you go start your own thing, because now you're the chief cook and bottle washer. You are responsible for every staple, for every paper. You're responsible for the printing, the paper, the rent, the insurance, the workman's comp, the this, the that, and all them certifications and all those things I have on my wall every year or every 2 years. There's one of them, it's like $1,500 it adds up. And so now you are finding out that here I am this entrepreneur. I am walking in my purpose. We talk about our purpose and our passion and the things that we're passionate about. But there are things that are going to happen. You're going to have, I was also listening to Wisdom Sparks. She said, sometimes you may be frustrated and think that God is not listening or God has forgotten about you, but he hasn't forgotten about you. He's working. It's Marvella. That last, it's Marvella, guys. Please listen to her most recent video, because it was so good. She spoke about, and I like to talk about the bamboo shoot, that it takes years before you see what's above ground, but it's in the darkness. It's when God is doing the work for the foundation. My God, I can't tell you everything. Go take a listen. And that spoke to my spirit. And so for many of us who are looking to pursue our passion and trying to understand our purpose, know that it's not going to be easy. There are days that you will feel like you will just throw in the towel and quit and go back and get that job. And there's nothing wrong with doing your job on the side. There's nothing wrong with that, but you don't want to lose focus. You're welcome, Miss Marvella. Wisdom Sparks, hey, in the background listening. Yes, I got you. All right, don't worry. Girl, oh my goodness. You guys were on point today. And I thank her, because sometimes too, and I was going to come looking for you, it's Marvella, because I'm hearing, I was like, whose voice is that? Who that? But, it's all good. But when you are in the place in the space, and many times too when you are in your purpose, you have to ask God, like, God, show me the way. Like my mother would always say, God, show me the way. And now I understand, what is the thing that I should be doing? Should I give up? What was it? Yesterday I had a talk with, if every person that's in business, you need a financial person that could be honest with you. You need people. And when we're going to talk about, I'm going to do a video for the membership so you guys can really hear this. Because when I'm listening to high level CEOs and those who are making millions of dollars, it's the conversations that I've had years ago that spoke about in our masterminds, and to understand that you need good people. One of the things I'm going to tell you as an entrepreneur, if you don't have a faith-based person on your board or within your scope, you in trouble. You in trouble, girl. When she said, girl, you in trouble. You need that. You need to hear things from. See, you have the people who could talk about the money. The abilities. And I have friends, and that's why you got to diversify your relationships and how you show up, and when you network, not to use your friends. Yes, I cloned voice with the 11 labs. I got it. Yes. Yes. And so this is what I'm saying, guys. So you need to have certain people. So there are people, if there's a doctor I need to call, your girl call. If there's an attorney your girl need, I can call. Anything, like even in the media. And so we know about the seven mountains, right? Y'all don't know about that. It's something you need to know about. And that's how a lot of this is happening. You need different people in different places and spaces, and the person who can just tell you like it is. Like for me, I'm just like, just tell me what it's going to cost. Just tell me what I need to do, because sometimes I need that too. I need that person to tell me the truth. Like, girl, I'm like, man, I should just lock this thing, and I'm done. And he was like, why are you going to do that? The business coach is being told, like, why are you going to do? Because life will step in the way. And so sometimes your purpose, you may feel as if you're being derailed a little bit. You'll feel as if you're losing track, or you're deterred. But I'm telling you, it's the people who are going to be there. And I believe being prayerful has a lot to do with it. I know that he didn't bring me this far to do all of this, to leave it. But also life happens. I always say that too, especially for women and the men too. But when you are going to business, make sure you also take care of yourself, health-wise. Why am I saying that? Because at a certain time, you'll feel tired, you feel exhausted, you don't feel as if you want to do anything, you hardly have enough time to spend on your business, and then when you go get that checkup, you just may find that you're anemic or something like that, right? So it's not just one thing, so many different things. So on the road to pursuing your purpose, and for those, like I said, who are the entrepreneurs now, and they're going to be more entrepreneurs, because 300,000 women, they're saying, lost their jobs, and then they're more on top of that. So a lot of them are going to be out here. And this is where you're going to see where people are going to move into the space of entrepreneurship. They're going to move into the space of possibly consulting, because somebody is gobbling up all the money, and that's somebody who's gobbling all of that. He can't, or she can't do it. They can't do it by themselves. So they're going to need you. So, and what do they say? It's only the strong that survives. It's just a part of it. So you have to, ask yourself, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And I listen to different people, different beliefs. I don't even get into it so much. But you have to figure out, when you're trying to find your purpose, my biggest thing is this. Go watch my old videos. I've always said it. You need to know, what difference am I here to make on this planet? Am I here to make a difference? Because some people say, oh, I just want to make the money. You're leading with the money. What are you here for? Why are you even doing it? And so your why is going to be the thing that will keep you when they say when the tough gets going, the rough and the tough and all of that stuff. Me can't even say it, but I'm gonna tell you, there's some days you'll be sitting there and say, "How we gonna make payroll?" like that's what's happening right now. These folks, they got to pay. They got to put gas in their car. They have to pay for a lot of stuff, even if it's only the most important things. And so we see what's happening. So you are, and this is not to overwhelm somebody to tell them that you can't do it. Because I think I Cherish Church was on last night. Maybe she's on now, her thing, but especially for educators, there's an educator, somebody that we were in a mastermind together, and she has 7-figure business. She had make that business in the last maybe 5 to 4 years. She had her business before, but what did she do? She took it to the next level, and then she started to teach other people. She's right here on YouTube and Instagram. Yeah, teaching other people what you know. A lot of you may have to start doing that. Start teaching the people know. And sometimes too, when you look at your purpose and you're saying, but this thing, it can't make me any money. Some people say, this is what I love to do, but it can't, I don't think I can make money from it. Again, ask yourself, why are you doing it? Can you make a difference in this world? And when you go from that place following your purpose, then you start to do all the other questions that you will ask once it comes to putting that business together. Why am I talking about it? I had one of my mentors, she might be watching, or she see this replay, and it was said, you know what, Sharon, you're such an awesome coach. Why don't you tell people about what you do? Because if I were to ask them, they would know what you do. But it's not every place and every space that I have to tell people. I am at the place right now, and I tell you guys that you can work with the spirit of discernment, that God will still provide for you. Do you know He will still provide for you? Do you know that you don't have to work as hard to even make more? That's all. That's the mindset of it. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. And so for me, in this season, when you're pursuing your purpose, you're going to get to a place in a space where you've done enough, where you'll say, you know what? I've done that already. I've been there, done that. I've served. Now it's time for me to serve at a different capacity. And so you will get to the place that you could serve at a different capacity. But some people say God is my CEO, is the real CEO of this. And I'm telling you. So you don't need a whole lot of people. And no disrespect, she said, well, why don't you let them know? Thanks, Doc. And she said, why don't you let them know that you're a life and career coach and business coach? Because you're so great at it. And I'm like, well, we already do that. Well, how? And I was trying to explain it. And the only people who really could explain it are the people who've worked with me, because it's not that you just turn off one part of you and say, okay, I'm only going to deal with this. It's just that it's under my umbrella. And I'm like, there's a whole academy that they go in. There's a whole thing. She's, well, you're a speaker coach. I said, yeah. And so that's the thing too. When you are one of those let me talk to all the multi-talented people. Come to the front of the room. Come to the front of the room if y'all like me. Where is Meritage of Light and Healthy Kitchen Wizard and all those people? She did a great series about the brain. All the multi-talented people, come to the front of the room. You already here? So let me tell you something, all the multi-talented people who could do so many things. The whole world doesn't have to know that, because a confused customer will never buy from you. Pinkies up. And so you find a place to put all of that, where based upon what the client needs, it's there. They have access to it. And you would have to be coached to say, hey, I think you need a little bit, you need to brush up on some things based on what you're doing. There's the information for you. Is this making sense, guys? So you may be, and so that's what I'm talking about to the multi-talented people. You're so talented in so many different things. You don't have to put it all out there. But when you're clear in your messaging, yeah, of what it is that you do and the people that you serve, then when you speak to them and do our calls, and we'll see if we're a good fit, because not everybody. And let me tell you something too. When you're pursuing your purpose and you say, that's the person I want to work with, and this is what I want to do, just know there are those of us over here, it's like, it's not everybody that will want to work with. And not everybody will want to work with you. You may just not be a good fit. All right. So some people, their ego may get bruised a little bit because, well, why she doesn't want to work with me? And I've had that, like, we're just, we're not a good fit. And that happens. And you have to know it, like, maybe, and I'm like, maybe there's somebody else who can support you. If you so like, I can refer you, right? Thank you for being here. I know it's kind of late for you, but I appreciate it. But that's one of the things too. You can't afford when you are pursuing your purpose for your ego to become bruised so easily. It's just part of the process, guys. It's part of it. And so, yes, once you find out what that thing is that you're called to do, and sometimes too, you may be passionate about things, and there are going to be different seasons that you're going to have to choose to work through, then you're going to find that. But that the purpose that has been given to you, sometimes too, you will know it. You will get the divine download in the middle of the night. Casey Inspirational Tales, she did her book, right? And that was a divine download. And what did she do? She was always here. She was showing up. She showed up for us. She shared her prayers. She shared the stories that were written. And then what? God molded it. I don't know if you remember when we were on the line that night, and I said, and I think it was Mama Bowman, lyrics by Nitya, and Casey, I was saying, I need you guys with your journals, your books, your ebook. And she was like, she's working on it. And then bam, there it was. And so this is it. You'll know your purpose, though it may tarry. Right? It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And sometimes people may not see it. So they think like, oh, you're not out there doing anything when you know you're working on it. And God, sometimes we just have to mold you. He's doing the work. And like I said, it's Marvella and Wisdom Sparks. It's like you guys were on the same alignment there with the word that came through today. I was just so blessed by it, so blessed. And that's the guys, just know that you're called to do more. But yes, you remember, yes, you're called to do more. And also with your purpose, there are people who are going to speak into your life. How many of you can remember when somebody pretty much prophesied, right? They spoke a word into your life. And you're like, what's she talking about? I remember some years ago, this prophetess from the UK, and she started talking to me. And by then I was spent. I was tired. I was exhausted. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And she started speaking to me, and she just really spoke into my life. And I was like, well, I don't know if I'll be doing it anymore, but thank you. And she said, oh, you can't see it now. How many of you, drop a 1 if you can, and only if you can. Have you ever had that happen to you? Somebody prophesied, somebody just spoke into your life. And so you may not see it. And then it took what? About another 10 years. So sometimes do we want to see things the ready done, right? We want to see we call it in Jamaica, we talk backwards. Ready done, done ready. New brand, right? We say everything backwards, right? So when they spoke into your life and you're like, what? Oh, let me show you guys something. Hold on there. Let me show y'all something. I'm going to show you guys so you won't see. Oh, you might not be able to see it. Let me see if you can see it a little bit. Oh gosh, y'all can't see it. Oh, you see that? Okay, that's a picture of me, and this thing is all plastic. I had to bend it to see it. All right? All right, so that's a picture of me, and this some years ago. And this was written back in, I felt a little spooky, so I I kind of scratched it out, but it was 6/16/2010. And everybody should do that. Okay, there you guys go. You can you kind of see it there? Yes. So the reason, because I have stuff written on it, and I wrote it and I put it in a little plastic thingy here. And it was a photo of myself, and I do this with a lot of my clients. In a Word document, import a picture of yourself. That's me, I'm sure her, right? And I have Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you. Yes, saith the Lord. Declare the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And I wrote that. And underneath, I wrote everything. I wrote my name. I wrote all the different degrees, and all the way up to the doctorate, all the way up, the books that I was going to write, the speaking different parts of the world, things that I was doing already, and I put all up in there. And one of the things here, I think two of them right now, is on the way. And I did that. Is this making sense to you guys? Drop a 2 if you can make a sense, because I need to know who's still here with me. And so when you look at your book, Casey, on the back of your book, and I know in your book you have your picture and your information on it, and Marvella, who's also an author. So sometimes, yes, you see, yeah, man, you see how that work? You see how it work? So when you go through the rough times, Lord of mercy, Lord of mercy. When you're going through the rough days and the rough nights and the crying, and Lord, what is going to happen? Yeah, I'm telling you, Marvella and Wisdom Sparks, they were on it. They were on it. Wondering, when is it me? When is it my time? When is it going to happen? And guess what? Before you know it, God did it like that. Bam, he did it like that. I'm telling you, Casey Inspirational Tales, if you haven't listened, go over there. And let me tell you, Marvella is going to minister to you, girl. Shut up. And that's go on, right? And then I have another quote by Hector Crawford. It says, decide carefully exactly what you want in life, then work like mad to make sure you get it. But Jeremiah 29:11 already got that. You see what I mean? Sometimes you got to encourage yourself. Speak a word. This paper is from 2010. You see? It's from 2010. And I got one of those plastic thingies, and I put it in there. Yeah, I put it in there. And I put it a bedroom. It has all these holes in it. Reason why I have all these holes, I had a tack, because the way that I was feeling, what you call them things, and I just put it. Amazing. It's amazing how God works things out in time. So that's why I try not to worry too much. I am learning that. Sometimes we have to go through the discomfort, because there are times that I wanted to feel comfortable. I wanted everything to be perfect. And the stress from it, the stress of just trying to make it work. And sometimes too, we worry that other people, how you will extend yourself. Other folks, they're not able to do it, because guess what? They haven't done the work to get to that point. I had to learn that. What I was willing to do, the sacrifices that I was willing to make, there were some folks who they were not ready for that yet. So we have to learn to give grace to them, and somebody said, but you were able to do it, and they should be able to do it. But it took me to get to that place and that space, right? Yes, we got to lead in. Yes, we got to lean on his promises and listen, I'm telling you, they say don't sit on the premises, but stand on the promises of God, because what he say he'll do it. And so that's why I'm thankful. I am grateful that even in the pursuit of understanding my purpose, that I know that I'm placed here for a reason. I am placed here for a reason. We're all here for a season, right? And if we could just live our best lives, like we say, really truly live best lives, not just me and you, it's just all of us. It's all of us. I was listening to, what's his name? Neil, the guy with the afro who's always talking to, he's a astrophysicist, I think, and he's always talking about outer space. And he's like, well, we all have 20% of the same DNA as a banana, mango or something. I would be like, I'm from Jamaica. I say, oh, we have the same DNA, 20% of the DNA as a banana. Then they say we made up of stardust and all of those things. I'm not going to argue with anybody, and I'm not going to get into it with anyone. But the one thing that I've always believed, when we were little, you remember the song, Casey? Casey said, I'm learning to accept things positively as I go through my seasons too. Absolutely. And there was a song that we used to sing, all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things bright and beautiful. And I think it says the Lord hath, or the Lord God. I was little, so I used to say, the Lord God made them all. You remember the song? So when people are thinking that he's saying something like, oh, we're made from this, and he's talking about the oneness, I've always felt that we are all connected. We are all connected. Everything is connected because everything we need is right here on this planet. Everything you could think of. Before we start getting the little pills and all of them stuff, everything, where did they get it from? Most of the stuff I tell you, you go look it up and see what the main ingredients are. So all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things, they say, bright and beautiful. Who made it all? God made it all. So always with the oneness. I don't need for you to go up in there and tell me what else I go on, because I've always felt that, right? And so now they're saying, yes, that we always felt that. The blood that runs through our veins, right? Sometimes too with our family members, we'll say, like, boy, why this baby look like so-and-so in a family? And then the child, somebody could have passed on and gone, and the child have the same personality as that family member, even look like them, and all of that, and all of those things, that we're still here. And then they're talking about the breath that your grandparents and grandparents before them, the breath that they've breathed is still out there circulating. And it takes years, the same water, everything. God is just so magnificent. So magnificent. We don't have to try and overthink this thing and try to overdo it, and AI and all of them things there, right? So oneness that they're talking about, we listen, in Jamaica we say, you don't know, we don't know that already, right? Amen. We already know that. So that's why I'm not gonna get all wound up about all of stuff that's happening. Because once you come to terms with your purpose, and that I'm here for a reason and a season, and then there are other parts with it, especially of those of us in the wellness. I talk about that, social services, but also the ministry, because sometimes there's a time for everything under the sun, and you've all experienced that, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you got to christen a baby, sometimes you got to lay somebody to rest, and I could be talking like I'm so brave and everything like that, but no, it is what it is. What do I do in the meantime? What do I do in between the dash, right? Casey said, just accept when things happen or people leave your life. God knows all the behind the scenes. Yes. And even in business and going towards your purpose, some people, I used to be one of those people, I don't think that I could do another thing on my plate. I don't do that. But I remember a friend called me into to her office. And I'll never forget her. I still see her on Facebook. And one of these days, I just got to inbox her. She called me into the office and she said, listen, this thing that you're hiring somebody for, you're supposed to be doing that. I'm like, yeah, but she was like, no, no, this is what you should be doing. And it was just straight up with me. And it so happened that the person that I had, I'll just go, who was supposed to do the thing, I kept pushing at it, pushing at it. And it just turned like, after a while, I was like, okay, never mind, just go with what you got already. That's it. And so it happens. It happens that you are the one that God, it comes a time when you have to step into your calling. You have to step into your calling because that's what you were called for. You keep pushing it off, pushing it to the side. Other people, give it to someone else. Let them do this, let them do that. That's not for me. There comes a season, comes a time that your purpose is knocking on the door. It's there, and you will not get peace until you step into it. So my thing, how do you rectify this, Sharon? The thing I always ask God to show me the way. And if he has given you the vision, the provision will show up. Many of you are thinking about that business. Many of you are thinking about that book. Some of you want to relaunch some things. You want to take your ministry. You want to take what you do to the next level. Well, now is the time, because there are people more than ever. We see what's happening in the world. The more than ever are going to need your words of wisdom. So sometimes we may not get the numbers that we should be getting, right? We may not be getting the numbers, and I kind of, we're not getting the numbers we think that we should be getting. But understand that somebody is going to tune in into what you have said, what you have recorded right here on YouTube. And that can make a difference in that person's life, because they're what do you call them? They're a change maker, right? They're the ones who are going to come and break certain things in generation. So we don't have to worry about all the noise. And look at that, God, the heavens open up back here. Lord, have mercy, right? We don't have to worry about all the noise. Just know that somebody is going to read that book. Somebody's going to hear what you have to say, and that's going to make a difference in their life. Know that it's for a season why God is doing that. Why, when I listened today, it spoke to my heart from that meeting I had yesterday. That's sometimes you need to hear that. It doesn't matter how perfect and how you may think that you have it all together. You need somebody who will tell you the truth. That's why when you have that circle of people around you, it's got to be somebody who's going to tell you the truth. And you, in your heart too, you will know about the dream stealers and those who may make it seem as if, you will know if they're not for you. If they're for you, it's for you. So I got a minute to go, guys. I'm going to jump off a little bit early. But I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to this. If you've gotten this far, I really appreciate it. Continue to watch the videos. Watch the ads, and that's how we're supporting each other in this season. I leave the ads. Let me tell you, it's Marvella. They love me. They always play Robbins or Oprah. Oprah would be having a whole show on It's Marvella. They do a whole show, It's Marvella, on you, and I let that baby run. I was like, what? And then I was listening to it. Some of these ads are 45 minutes. I've listened to ads more than 45 minutes. And so maybe because I do that, they follow me. So I get a lot of the motivational, the inspirational. Some of them are even podcasts. Some of you might have bumped into that. So get them on your ads, and that's how we support. So choose 5 people, maybe just 5 people for the week. You may not be able to do 15 or 20. You may not be able to do everybody, but my peeps who got me, how I got over, people who helped me to get over, guess what? We're watching. So yes, all the 45 minutes, they'll do it a couple of times, but after that, they don't. But it's marvelous. Sometimes they will you're getting ready to say something good, and they're like, bam, with another one. I'm like, okay, all right now. You're in the middle of the word. But it's okay. That's the tithes and offering. That's the offering. That's the offertory. That's the offering right there. And so I give God thanks. All right, everybody, I'm going to bounce for a bit here, but have an amazing, amazing night. May the Lord continue to bless and keep each and every one of you. Hopefully, you got something from this. Don't forget, do that thing. All right. Don't forget our membership. And we're going to be talking about the business lounge. It's exclusive, darlings. It's for you. Have a good night. Thank you. Mwah, mwah. Thank you, Ellen. Enjoyed it today. God bless. Take care now. Bye-bye.